Gentlemen.
Yay! Too kind, thank you very much. Well, that's it, was that it? No. So, why am I here? My mates say, what the bloody hell are you doing? Why aren't you playing golf? Why? I do play a bit of golf, but notionally I've retired, that's the point I'm making. So why am I doing what I'm doing? So, bit of background. I'm Worcestershire through and through. I am, as we say in these parts, a pear, not a bear. I've lived around here all my life. I've been married for 49 and a half years.
Wow.
I think that's some kind of sainthood due for that. And we were a local event. We were married on the day after the Birmingham pub bombings, which was quite a difficult start to your wedding day, because we both worked in Birmingham. And fortunately, we didn't know anybody who was involved, but clearly it was a major event in the area. My wife made quite an instant impression on me, because when I first met her, I was in bed 5 minutes later, undressed. She'd also weighed me and taken the piss out of me, literally. So yeah, I'm sure you can work that one out.
Yes.
We have 2 boys, grown up, 6 grandkids, and we have Merlin, who's a very efficient rodent exterminator. I've always been interested in sport. I've played sport all my life. Played cricket, played rugby down the road, actually, Bromsgrove. I was there on Saturday for an old players sort of reunion. There was no game to watch, so we were in the clubhouse all afternoon. I can't really remember. And so I played cricket at Hanbury, and now I play golf. From a career point of view, I've gone through. I'd left college, and the 2 things were on my mind. I needed to earn some money, and I needed a vehicle. And I found that if you've got a sales job, you've got both in one go. So I ended up with a sales job. It was as easy as that. But there's a common thread running through my career, which is that I'll give you an example. My first job was with Gillette, and I worked on the launch of the world's first twin-bladed razor. Can you imagine what a big thing that was? I then worked for a business that had one of the first dedicated word processing systems out there. This is before PCs. We used to sell a system that was basically just a text editor with a big screen on it for 10 grand a seat. Can you imagine that? Did very well with those. I'd worked for Xerox, the world's only, at that time, plain paper copier system. And then I worked for a software house where we were the first people in our market to use the .NET environment for development, which most of you won't, don't worry about that. So, but there's a theme running through, which is that I've always enjoyed being at the leading edge, having some technical advantages in what I do. So it's part of my DNA, I think. 12 years ago, my life took a change because someone introduced me to a health technology that I found interesting, and I wanted to explore what might happen with it. I took it myself, saw some benefits, started talking to other people about it, and we saw people get some really interesting results with that. So that kind of started playing around in my mind, and that resulted in me leaving my sales career and starting networking, which is now, I've done this for over 10 years, talking to people about matters of health, basically. So I'm interested in things that help the body needs, that helps the body work as well as it possibly can. So concept of living younger, longer, if you like, but it's not about things that aren't compatible with how the body works. So I was networking with this particular product for a number of years, and then about 4.5 years ago, I was introduced to what we now know as the Superpatch company. I have to say, my first reaction was when this guy started talking about wearable neurotechnology. I was thinking, really? And it was way over here. Anyway, he happened to mention that if you play golf, it helps. So he had me at that point. I had to give it a try. I'm a member of a network called For Business, which is kind of BNI plus golf, but without all the silly rules that go with that. Sorry for any BNI fans in here, Darren. So I thought, okay, this better find out this works. So I tried it and found that it did. But what I discovered shortly afterwards is that a friend of mine had can't use medical terms, a neurological condition that she'd been diagnosed with 20 years ago, 20 years prior to the 10 years ago I was originally talking about. I went to see her and to explain that I'd found something that I thought might help her. Was she interested? Yes, she was. At the time, she'd had a fall a couple of years earlier. She was very wobbly on her legs, really dented her confidence, and she was using a walking stick for getting in and around the house. You know, go and put the kettle on. Yeah, a quarter of an hour later, she was standing in the middle of the kitchen going, whee, and no stick. And I thought, okay, this is interesting now. And so here we are talking about this super patch technology, which really is doing some wonderful things for people. The way this technology works is so you have to accept the brain and central nervous system are the most important systems in the body. Everyone buy that? Mm-hmm. There is skin to brain communication. Everyone buy that? So if you put your hand in the fire, what happens? It comes out very quickly. You don't even have to think about that. Something tells the brain, or the brain tells your hand to get the hell out of there very quickly. And there are nerve endings all over the body that lead back to the brain. Yeah, so we all buy that. And the guy who's developed this technology has worked out that by triggering nerve endings in a particular way, he can get messages to different parts of the brain that have different end results. So let that one settle for a moment. We now have 12 different patches, so each has a unique pattern. There's nothing in these patches, no drugs, no ingredients, but they activate, connect with the nervous system and work with different parts of the brain to relieve people from pain, relieve people from stress and anxiety, help people sleep better, and so on. What makes more sense to me is what it does for people, and that's why I do what I do, because I've seen some quite amazing things, results people get. So a friend of mine, he's now a friend. I'd only met him through a virtual networking event, but he was taking 12 to 16 very strong painkillers a day for a condition he had, a lifelong condition. He was born with physical defects, curvature of the spine, and some other things, and he'd been on these tablets for a very long time. He went on, started using our technology, and he stopped taking the pills immediately. He's now gone 2.5 years, no painkillers at all. Then there was Gemma. Gemma was the victim of a hit-and-run accident, caused serious neurological damage. She was, it was like that where she survived for some time. Yet last year, so about 8 years after her accident, still suffering with neurological problems to a degree. She wanted to run the London Marathon to raise money for Brain Research UK. And she set herself a target to get under 4 hours, which for the first time in the marathon, she's 45, she's got neurological problems. It's pretty serious ambition to have. She got there. She was she wore our patches through her training period and on for the run itself. The impressive thing for me was that her second half split was only 2 minutes slower than her first half split. So pretty significant performance. And she puts down that the patches certainly made a big difference for her. Then also in terms of pushing the body to its limits, Simon was a keen cyclist, very good cyclist, but in terms of entering competitions and all the rest of it, so knows his biking. His aunt had died through cancer. He was going to do a charity ride to raise money in her memory. Set himself a 24-hour solo ride he was going to do of nearly 300 miles. He managed to do it, and again he says that wearing this technology helped him to maintain balance on his bike, so that all his energy was going into pedalling. And the last quarter of the ride he did quicker than any of the other quarters during his 24 hours. Subsequently, he's done a 48-hour ride, again wearing our tech, so made a big difference for him. Then on the health front, how am I doing for time today? Nikki was diagnosed with a problem that, again, thinking my words, involved serious fatigue, neurological problems. She'd had to use a Zimmer frame in the house. They had to move house to a bungalow. She got an electric wheelchair to go up and down if she was going out. Wore our tech for 3 or 4 months. They were out on Christmas Day, and her wheelchair got bogged down in some mud, and the only way they couldn't lift it with the weight of the wheelchair and her as well. So she got out, and with assistance from her daughters, was able to walk. So now the wheelchair went back in the garage, the Zimmer frame went back in the garage. It's serious, folks. I mean, it really is amazing stuff. Yeah, I could go on. I mean, the reason that I do this is I feel kind of unfulfilled. There's an itch that I still want to do something with my life. I still want to make a contribution, and basically helping other people resolve issues that they hadn't previously found an answer for is why I do what I do. And there's many more people, because of the way network marketing businesses work. You reach people all around the world. There are people who I've met, who have met other people, who've met other people, and we've now got people in Australia wearing this stuff. People in other parts of the world. Just because sorry about that.
Australia.
Did you set that for 10 minutes?
No, that was
Is that your alarm?
No, that was a phone call. Another lead. Yeah. So I like making a difference, but I want to build something with this through how these businesses work. But I can when I finally do shuffle off this sphere, my grandkids will say, "My granddad did that." I think that's kind of what drives me. So finally, I forgot to mention in my 60 whatever it was that I did. 16th of May, Saturday 16th of May, we've got an event in How's Own. So if anyone wants to know more, then see me and I'll give you the link for it. But it'd be good to see anybody there who's interested. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone got any questions?